Hello, my name is Chris and I'm a U-Haul hitch professional. Installing a hitch on your Subaru WRX can lead to some amazing adventures, such as biking, camping, or road trips to your favorite destination. You can even tow a U-Haul trailer just about anywhere in North America. Now let's take a look at how I completed this install. You will need the following tools or supplies to complete this installation. Begin by removing 10 push fasteners from underneath the bumper. You will find 3 on the driver's side, 4 in the center, and 3 more on the passenger side. Use a flathead screwdriver and a trim panel tool to remove them. Now remove 2 push rivets from behind each wheel well. Use the flathead screwdriver to push in the center of the rivet and then pry loose with the trim retainer tool. Next, remove the fender trim by using a trim panel tool to loosen a clip, then pop the remaining clips to expose a fastener. If this first lower clip stays in the vehicle body like it has with me, we can just pop it out and put it back in the trim for reinstallation later. Remove the hidden fastener with a 10mm socket. Repeat for the passenger side wheel well. Raise your trunk lid so you can remove the taillight trim by removing the push fastener. That uses a Phillips head as a center, and you can use your flathead to help pull the center out. Now we can pry the trim away from the vehicle. Use your trim panel tool to gain a little leverage. This exposes 2 10mm fasteners. Gently pull out the 1 clip in the taillight so we can remove the electrical harness. Depress the white tab to remove the harness. Use a flathead screwdriver if needed. Do note that this WRX has the low center stoplight, and this is the connection for it. In order to install this hitch, you will need to remove your low center stoplight, so you will also need to disconnect this adapter. You can now repeat these steps to remove your passenger side tail light. You're now ready to remove the fascia from the vehicle. I would recommend getting yourself a second set of hands if you do not have a bumper stand. I would also recommend some blue masking tape so we can protect the body lines for when we return the fascia later. Now gently peel the fascia and pull the tabs from the support structure underneath. Once you clear the taillight cavity, repeat on the other side and then return to pull the center. If needed, use a trim panel tool to assist with the center. We will need to address this wire while removing the bumper. Pass it down and you will find it is zip tied to the bumper beam. Next up, we will remove the bumper beam to be replaced by the new Eco Hitch. Let's go ahead and remove 3 fasteners per side using a 14mm socket and an extension. A deep well is not necessarily needed, but may make it easier. Save these nuts for reinstallation with the hitch. Return these bolts to the customer. There is new hardware with the hitch. Now remove the bumper beam Return it to the customer. It will not be reinstalled. Use a wire brush to clean any debris from the weld nuts. You can now place the hitch into position. Be sure not to catch the cord to the sensor. Loosely affix the factory nut into position to secure the hitch. You can now install new bolts and hardware. Place on a locking washer first and a flat washer second. With all the hardware loosely installed, you will now want to center the hitch on the vehicle. Use this fold in the sheet metal as your center line. You can now tighten and torque the hardware to the manufacturer's specifications that I will link in the description below. We will use the 14mm socket for the two factory flange nuts, but we're going to need a 17mm socket for the new bolts. For those of us that have the low center stoplight, we will now need to remove it from the fascia. Use some sharp cutting tool to remove a zip tie. Use a 10mm socket to remove this fastener from the side, holding the light bracket to the fascia. Then remove one trim clip from the opposite side. The light can now be removed from the fascia. You can now trim the fascia area that holds the light, since we will no longer be able to use it. An air saw, if you have it, is always the preferred method for trimming a fascia. Use a metal file to clean up any frayed plastic. You can now measure out the area to be cut. I have measured out 2 1/4 inches. You can then trim off a 45-degree angle, removing this section to give you access to your safety hooks. We have loosely placed the fascia back on the vehicle and confirmed that we need to cut a little bit more fascia to gain access to our safety chain hooks. After trimming off additional fascia to make clearance for the safety chain hooks, this is what our final cut looks like. With the hitch torqued and the fascia trimmed, you can now install your wiring if you're going to do so. Because we have our tail lights out and everything exposed, now is the best time to do that. I'm going to go ahead and link that video up above. You can now return the fascia to the vehicle. Push the fascia into position, working your way from the center out to one tail light. And then return to the center and work your way out to the opposite tail light. Return your hidden fascia fastener. Resecure your wheel trim, pushing all the clips into place, starting in the passenger door. For this lower trim clip, reach in behind with your fingers to add a little support for when you push it into place. You can now return all the wheel well fasteners. For the two push rivets in the wheel well, you must push the center clip up in order to reseat it into position. And then push the center back down flush. Now return your 10 trim clips. Now reinstall your taillights. Return the taillight trim. Place the trim clip and use your Phillips head screwdriver to ensure it seats into position. Repeat for your passenger tail light. Your removable receiver can now be installed for use. Place the receiver into position. Install the receiver bolt with a locking washer first and a flat washer second. Now use a 24mm socket to tighten and torque this bolt to the manufacturer specifications. Again, they're linked in the description below. You can now follow the manufacturer's directions to install the hardware on the OEM cover so it can hide your receiver bolt. Our customer chose not to purchase it to put this together, but you can likely purchase that cover online and install this as the directions call out. Now that our hitch is installed, we pull the vehicle onto level ground to show you some important measurements. This is a 2-inch hitch receiver. From the pinhole to the end of the receiver is 2 inches. From the ground to the top of the inside of the receiver is 11.5 inches. These measurements will help you determine the necessary length, rise, or drop of your hitch accessories, like a ball mount, bike rack, or cargo carrier. If you have any questions about the products seen in this video, or if you'd like to schedule an installation with your local U-Haul hitch professional, please visit us online at uhaulhitches.com. You can also download the U-Haul app using the link in the description for even more ways to manage your hitch and towing needs.